Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a few seconds early, but what can I say? I'm excited to be here. It's not going to be a terribly long stream. I am definitely tired. Heck, feels like my body's just been breaking down despite me. In any case, let me see if I can find my scenes. I don't know. We've had to cancel a few too many streams lately, and I guess I'm losing my sense for which way is up. No, my scene is just buried in the list. Professional streamer. Oh god, excuse me. Nobody heard that. Nobody heard that. Welcome on in. As we were talking about last time, the Chinese curse sense of interesting is a place that my life winds up being a fair bit of the time. Or at least that's what it feels like. I don't know how many of you are following the Discord too closely. I just realized I'm not anywhere near close enough to my mic. We need to get these sultry tones going. Come on. So... Welcome on in. I had a heck of a time yesterday. Yesterday was one of those days where everything is on fire. I don't know whether the full story is going to be told today or on Friday, because Friday we do have Antichamber. I swear it's happening. God damn it. I'm sick and tired of missing streams. I have another burp trying to happen. Excuse me. Air Caves has arrived. Oh, well, stream's over. Time to pack it up and go home. Welcome on in. I know you were looking at the Discord some, and you know that my body's on fire right now. The title, by the way, is legit. I pulled a muscle in my left hand, and I have carpal tunnel flare-up happening on my right. It's not just fire, according to Air Caves. It is a dumpster fire. Yup. And yes, Air Caves is saying that I am trash. So... I hope your week has been far less interesting than mine has thus far. Yesterday was the kind of day where you wonder why you bothered ever getting out of bed. It's the kind of day that started off with a migraine and only got better from there. So, working 11:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. with a 1-hour break. Ugh. Oh, hey, welcome on in, Vest. It's a pleasure having you here. It's... you picked a heck of a day to stop in. Oh gosh. The title is honest. So... Yeah, interesting is a fitting word, Air Cave says, and Stage saying, something in the vest of holding... You're just too invested in trying to make that pun happen. So, screw it. The story's gonna happen at some point. We might as well start with it here. So, my day yesterday. I woke up with a migraine. And, yeah, a really bad one. I also was dehydrated. Vest. I even have a vested interest in puns. See? You're in the right place. This works. So I woke up with a migraine yesterday, and I was dehydrated because I was an idiot the day prior and had not been drinking enough water. So I had to make sure that I dealt with getting my ADHD meds, picking them up. And that's just it's an administrative task. That's the kind of thing that executive function is already something that can be an issue when you're working with ADHD. So the med problems get a little interesting. So I had to figure out a new pharmacy in the area, one that was in network, figured one out. Cool. It's my local grocery store that I go to anyways. Yes. So I'm taking ibuprofen, slowly getting a little bit of caffeine in my system. We had found one more of my Vyvanse, so I had a med for yesterday. And Air Caves, I'm not holding my breath for puns. Staged, you don't need to hold your breath. There are in those cases. What? Air cases involving caves are ideal, but they feel staged. Oh my god. You guys are... I love you all, but screw you. So... words. I can totally think. So I wound up going to the store, which of course they had terrible pop music stuff playing, and it was loud, and the PA was particularly loud, and I don't know what the hell Sheila did, but they kept on calling for just hashtag blame Sheila. I have no idea what was going on, but there were a lot of announcements going on, and it was really overwhelming for me. I ended up calling a friend and like using that to help me stay like grounded and focused, but it was causing my migraine to surge. I had to deal with administrative tasks in the middle of that. It was just not a pleasant store trip, is the really long story short. Can you please report to the register? Except like blared loud. Yeah. Imagine the worst phone call on speakerphone ever in existence, and then like dial that terrible quality up to 11, and it feels like driving nails into your skull and into your eardrums. Hey, welcome on in, Draw. Hope your week's going pretty well. So, all this is going on, right? And then I'm still talking with a friend while I'm working on bringing groceries in. Yeah, I put the cats up in the bathroom so that they don't try to make a break for it, and I have a minute of peace while I'm working on putting, refrigerated stuff away. All that jazz. Except, usually I care... So I had 12 packs of ginger ale. And usually I basically do the live long and prosper splay, except each pair of fingers is used to carry a 12 pack. This is how I've always carried 12 packs of soda if I have multiple. I wasn't paying attention, and I ended up with the wrong split. So it was my index finger and then 3 other fingers. I was carrying this towards the door, and I didn't notice this until I noticed that the one 12 pack of soda was moving more than usual and it was less stable, but I didn't process why. But as I was going to open the door, I felt the sudden tension and pain in my hand that had me swearing up a storm instantly, because I knew exactly what kind of pain that was. That is the exact kind of pain that's associated with pulling a muscle. So I'm like, God damn, I just pulled a muscle that serves my index finger in my hand. This continued to get better, but really quickly, let's circle to chat. Stage, let's put a phone speaker up to a microphone and running it through a PA system. Exactly. And Draw, you had an SAT today? Brain equals dead? Yo. I hope you at least get it. I know that school doesn't like to give you too much of a chance to breathe, but I hope that you get some chance to just kick back and relax tonight. Nah, testing, regardless of whether you're good at it or not, just tiring is the big thing. Like, tests are just exhausting. Especially standardized tests like that in the super rigid environments. But so I pulled the muscle in my hand. And I'm sitting here going, I'm supposed to be playing The Witness yesterday, which means keyboard WASD for movement, and then, mouse for point of view and puzzle control. Now, me being the being the tenacious and stubborn individual that I am, is like, even if my left hand falls off, I want to stream. And the migraine was trying to subside, so I'm like, okay, you know what? My mouse has buttons on the side of it. It's one of those MMO mice, but I don't actually use it for that. The biggest feature that I end up using is the ability to change my DPI, just with a pair of buttons that's on the mouse itself, which is super handy. But I've got these buttons on the side of it that I almost never use. So I'm sitting there going, if I bind one to forward and one to back, I can still stream and I can do it one-handed. Because even though at that point it turns into parallel parking and 3-point turn, the stream, the myth, the legend, I could do it. Parents are now making you take a shower. She put on a jacket while wearing long sleeve sweater and left it on fully zipped from like 7:15 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Yep. Magus, you forgot the key to your house. Oh no. Welcome on in, Magus. And oh no. Oh no. Press F to pay respects. Oof. Invest. Oh shit. Your mouse has a button on the side too. You never use them? I've had this mouse for like, oh god, I think since it was, I think before, no, I got it a couple months after breaking up with the shitty ex. That was like 5 years ago. Is it welcome on in or is it welcome on out? I mean, stage, the side buttons on your mouse are pretty useful in a lot of games. Grenades, scoreboards, melee. It's versatile. I just don't bind them very often. But one of the things that I've recognized is that it means that I have some flexibility in terms of keybinds if I have to, or if I need additional things. And I always forget at convenient times when I'm trying to think of things like keybinds for OBS that I have the buttons on the side of my mouse. But I remembered it for this. So, like I said, parallel parking or, and 3-point turn the stream. It would have been silly, ridiculous, fine. But I could have done it. So I gave the kittens a pair of treats. These like meat sticks. And if I give them both a treat at the same time, then Justify will mug Pharaoh and steal Pharaoh's treat. And then Pharaoh doesn't want to have the one that Justify was already gnawing on and has vacated. So I have to give a treat to Pharaoh, let Justify mug him, and then give Pharaoh another treat. This is just what I've accepted as, stuff that's gonna happen in this household. So I end up tossing Pharaoh's treat up the stairs. Because I'm like, the Wobble Cat's not gonna be able to effectively, mug him on the stairs, right? So Justify is going up the stairs to mug his brother and steal, the second treat. And I'm like, oh no, please, not on the stairs. Justify, little Wobble Cat, no. So I go to sit towards the top of the stairs so that at least he doesn't, fall down the whole flight of stairs. And I go to, and I'm still on a call with this friend. And I sit down on the stairs and I go to lean against the wall. I recognize that there's a window behind me. That's no problem. I just forget that means that there's going to be a windowsill. And I lean back a little too hard, so I crack the back of my head against the windowsill. Which is like, really? Really? Oh. So I'm swearing up a storm again. And my head hurts again. But at least it's not migraine hurt, right? Because the migraine was working on subsiding. So then I'm like, okay, I start drafting a message because I'm like, I'm not streaming on time at this point. I was scheduled for a 3:30 stream yesterday. It was not starting on time. This was at 3 that I was bashing my head in and stuff. So a friend has to go change a sec, so it was AFK a moment. Is across the room from their headset, and they start hearing loud noises from my end. They come back and are like, what the heck did you just do? I had tried to stand up to go downstairs to get myself a snack or something. And I didn't quite get my feet under me. And they slipped off the edge of the step. So now I go bouncing down the whole set of stairs on my butt, swearing up a storm the whole way. Yeah, Erica, this is an impressive string of nat ones. And Megan, you were able to call the manager. Now it's 20 minutes or so wait. Because they have to get back from the doctor. On the upside, At least it's not like freezing out, I think. You're in a warmer climate than here. You just stop using the loaded die. Yeah, I know, right? So I've gone bouncing down the stairs on my butt, which my tailbone still loves me for, let me tell you. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, yeah, we're delaying stream an hour. So instead of 3:30, we're gonna start at 4:30. My migraine was working on subsiding and stuff. Yeah, and I wrap up on the call with the friend. I'm sitting down with something to eat. The problem is that my migraines are... I didn't address this specifically earlier. People usually think of migraines as being sensitive to light and sound, right? Mine are almost exclusively sensitive to sound. So I can deal with things like, brightly lit environments, snow on the ground, whatever, no problem. Driving, etc. So long as, I'm not dealing with a stabbing wave of pain, fine, sure. The problem was that a delivery van pulled up across the street from the house and was blasting music and was making deliveries to several houses on the block. They were blasting just terrible crap. And it hit the wrong frequency range is really what happened. And I would prefer nails on chalkboard. We'll put it that way. I would prefer nails on chalkboard. So I wind up just with the migraine coming back in force, and I'm dizzy. I needed to have some ginger ale so that my stomach calms down, and I just need to go lay down. At which point stream got canceled. The kicker is that this was not the extent of injury and pain that yesterday. Oh no. My body wasn't done yet. It decided, hey, you know what you haven't had in a while? A carpal tunnel flare-up. So my right hand has a carpal tunnel flare-up happening. So just sometimes it's like, oh, hey, nerve pain. Oh, hey, my grip strength goes to shit. No, NBD, no problem. Oh, this is my life at the moment. Draw, you just went over frequency and wavelengths and physics. It's a cool set of relationships. But yeah, so... yesterday was basically just the world is out to get me. Which, there's a few stories. I don't know whether this is not going to be a long stream. So we're probably looking at a 2-hour stream, and I don't want to be doing storytelling the whole time. I did test earlier. It seems like my hands are responding fine to a controller. I'm one of the problems when you're using a mouse or something, or a keyboard, is you have this ulnar twist that goes on, which puts pressure on the carpal tunnel. But if I'm resting my hand on my leg as I'm wielding a controller, it keeps things in a better configuration, and it doesn't impinge upon the carpal tunnel as much, which is basically just this passage through the wrist where a bunch of the nerves that serve your hand pass through. But things, it's one of the reasons why ergonomic keyboards and stuff are a significant thing, is because, and why they have, you get the ones that have the big ridge in the middle of it where it slopes up to, or you get the ergonomic mice that look a little bit more like a joystick or something, because it doesn't cause that twist that pinches the carpal tunnel. Life equals let's make you miserable. Yeah, that's kind of what yesterday was. Megas, one of the questions you had on your calc test on Monday was to find the derivative of x to the e. Oh my god. That's just silly. They're definitely trying to trip people up with that. Nah, so yeah, basically my hands are saying, screw you, kitty. You can't have nice things. And on the upside, I've been migraine-free today. I'm hydrated. And even though yesterday was such a rough time, I was still in pretty good spirits by the end of the day. By the time Staged got home, my migraine had almost completely subsided. I had taken some time to just rest, we ended up curling up and just spending some of the evening, curled up together, and that was really good. But and then today I've just been, my day started off a couple hours behind and never caught back up. Basically, I called my mom this morning for like a 30-40 minute just chat. It turned into like a 3-hour conversation, and everything since then has been late. So on the downside, I was running late all day. On the upside, we were only running an hour late by the time I hit stream. Woo! Also, you had to attend a U.S. history review. You actually paid attention and learned the cause of the Vietnam War. Woo! Yo. In any case, we are about to start a Hat in Time. I think that Friday with Antechamber, and yes, that's going to start at 3:30 p.m. EST. Damn it. Damn it, I will make it start then. I think that's probably when we're going to have some more of the story time, because I have a couple, fun fact, I don't currently longboard, but I did learn to longboard at one point a couple years ago. And I've got a couple stories from that. Title True Dust Trim. Oh god. No, we're not doing that, Air Caves. I promise. Tell you what. I'll advance it a sec while we finish talking. So, yeah, there we go. Excuse me. Yep, the longboarding incident. Okay, so for the record, the oh god was for the longboard stuff. Yep. There's 2 stories. One of which is tangentially tied into a few other stories. It's a good story cluster, basically. And not a terribly long one either, I promise. These are not hour-long stories. There's a couple of other stories that I realized I haven't even told this staged yet either, including things like spraining my thumb when I was a kid. And some stuff like that. So, no, I think we're gonna have some good stories interspersed on Friday. And yes, staged. Here's the question: is it like Beetlejuice? If I say staged's name 3 times, do I summon him? Staged games. Staged games. Staged games.
Here's Johnny!
Now, if that isn't frightening, I don't know what is. So, in any case, next week, really quickly, there's a La Mulana randomizer race this weekend. I think it's gonna be Friday, or not, Saturday. Don't quote me on that. It still hasn't been officially announced, but I've heard tell that it might be Saturday. If it is, one of the things I would like to do for next week is, especially since we've missed a couple weeks in a row of the Witness, I want to do Witness streams on Monday and Tuesday next week. But that is conditional upon when the La Mulana randomizer race is. And otherwise having a normal week next week. So, yeah. And then, yeah, I think those are the major things. Antechamber Friday, La Mulana this weekend, and damn it, I'm gonna finish a randomizer seed, and I'm gonna finish the stream. Normal week? What's that? A statistical concept. Don't you know it's the week that we're celebrating the normal distribution? Yeah, gotta have math things, because isn't it... Wait, hold up. I need to check something. Yep, next week is a math week. Pi Day is next week. Which is clearly the most important holiday to crop up in March. Pi Day. March 14th. Also, in case you're like me and have forgotten the existence of daylight savings time, if you're in the US, daylight savings time starts this weekend. Your sister's birthday's next week? One of my family members, their birthday's Pi Day, which is one of the only reasons I remember what their birthday is. It's Mario Day, then Pi Day. So, last time, let's see, we picked up, we got the time stop hat. So the time stop hat is a thing. We have, let's see, we got a new brewing hat, that's Susicle. We got a new sprint hat, which basically just amounts to cool swag. Wait, why am I going this way? We did a whole bunch of stuff here. So this area, the Alpine skyline, is actually fairly open, and we've done a lot of it. This time rift is by the green tree at the bell. Cool. So that's something that we can actually go hit super quickly. But we also, I think it's the windmill is the last area that we need to complete in the Alpine skyline. And at that point, we will actually be able to open up the finale of this. Depending on how much time we have. Depending on how much time we have at that, once we get there in the stream, I'm gonna want to see if we can, if we can do a little bit of, okay, so if we get 800, we'll get the mumble thing. Let's do the boards for the other levels. We're gonna be getting, we're gonna pick a level to go back to. Basically. So here we have Twilight Bell Time Rift. I have not warmed up at all. Oh, hi! I can't kill them. Can I? Nope. Okay, so we just have to get good, is really what I'm hearing. Okay, so what's that down there? That's another bell, isn't it? So we're gonna shift to where to do that, because I don't trust like any of that. Of course, it's probably gonna want me to have done that. Okay, so we're just gonna keep going. Okay, oh god. Okay, that kinda worked. Hey, no spaghetti. Oh god. All the spaghetti? Woo! No spaghetti, no spaghetti. Zawelda. The boss is the, yeah. Well, I'm saying the finale is in, like, we get to an act finale. Stage, you want to game at round 32? That was stupid. What the heck was your comp? So let me think a sec. No, 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 no. Just whiff. Okay. Okay. Right. Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm not a clever kitty. In case anyone was wondering. Huzzah! Magus has been allowed in! Okay. Need to think about this. Ow. How do we do this? Oh, if I tumbled further, I think I would have been okay. We're probably gonna die here. No, 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 no. Come on. Can we double jump? Thank you. Okay, so I need to not abort the tuck. Nope. Rip. I don't know how I do this. Oh, we're here. Okay. I've assumed that they would always kick you out. For what it's worth. So... Whoa! Okay, so yeah, that was just a case of get gooder. Cool, that was the hardest part of that. So we have 20, we have 20 hourglasses. Roll. That's a time stop hat? What is that? I ignored the intended solution. Oh. Hardcore parkour! Hardcore parkour! Would I like to know? I don't know. So that's a cute hat. I don't know what it is. It looks like some eldritch thing with tentacles. It's like an eldritch panda. Would that mean that you could call it pandemonium? Did I just hear a boo from the other room? I think I heard a boo from the other room. I'm getting booed from off stream, guys. Guys. You completed Psychonauts finally. I think I saw you mention that somewhere. Yeah, no. That's awesome. I still need to play that. I have it. I have not played it yet. So bad. I don't know what hat we're defaulting to, so cat. I don't know what we're doing. But when in doubt, just be a cat. Whee! So that's the lava stuff. So I need the blue place up there. I see shinies everywhere.
The old windmill is this way.
Welcome on in, Scald. And how have I not played, Wait, there's multiple paths. Oh no. Hold up. How have I not played Psychonauts? Because I have not been a very active gamer prior to... Well, not too long ago, really. Oh, did you finish it? You went for the 100%? Yo. I need to double check where I'm supposed to go, and I need a better vantage point. Also play Psychonauts with all the other games that you like that I haven't played. Well, I'm working on it, okay? The answer is very carefully. No, I was pretty, like, I hesitate to say sheltered. I didn't do as much gaming when I was a kid, really, is what it comes down to. I read a lot of books and stuff. But, we've been here before. We've been over here before. So the windmill's over there. How do we get to the windmill? Oh, hi. Ask and ye shall receive? So you're also watching a channel on YouTube who's doing a blind Let's Play of Psychonauts. The windmill. Let's do the thing. Okay. This place is huge! It must be quite a climb to the top. Okay. So there's little sub-windmills in there. There we go. Let's go. Twilight Bell was your favorite area, but it was a close second. So we're just taking a look around for stuff, things, doohickeys, shinies, and baubles. We're gonna leave that heart in case we need it. So let's see, what do we have in here? Okay. Also the music. I have the music on pretty low today, so thank you for calling my attention to it. I just know that I am having a bit of a distractible day, so I have to be particularly careful about things like audio. Whoa. I'm just finding all sorts of creative ways to move around that I don't think are quite as intended. There's things down there. There's birds. Birds are bad. Except I am a bird. Is it racist if it's racist against myself? No. I know the answer on that. Just bad joke bears. The bird. Bird is the word. Stage, finding unintended ways to move around makes me think of Tony Hawk Pro Skater every time. Bugger. So there was a yarn thing that I wanted. Oh, platforms. Ow. Jumps down too far. This is just crazy. It's running around this massive giant windmill. Completely unsupervised little kid. Yeah. Gears, machinery, all sorts of places to hurt yourself on. Clearly OSHA okayed this, right? Like, we're not breaking any workplace labor laws, are we? Oh. What just... I just... Okay, so we're just running around completely willy-nilly. What hat do I want? I was thinking of a hat. This one, right? Maybe? No, I bonked. Whoa. No. Heck. Okay. So there is a heart down there. There we go. Cleared some of that out. I don't think we get back across this, really. And there's a ledge down there. What the heck? Welcome on in, Tigress. I am doing very good at taking all kinds of damage. How is your day going? Okay. We know we can make this. The tumble jumps are great. That's what I keep thinking of the like dive jumps, is their tumble jumps. Whee! Ring-a-ding-ding. And that heart we left earlier is useful. Mostly good, you had a brain MRI this morning. Now to get in considering cooking some food. Brain MRIs, I hope it's not for anything too terribly crazy. For what it's worth, my experience... I'm trying to think of how many... I've had a bunch of MRIs in my life. Not like a lot, but... I mean, then again, any plurality winds up being a lot when you're dealing with medical imaging. I've had a couple on my knees when I was a kid, but all the brain ones I did were as part of studies. Basically, I ended up in a study, it's actually how my mom got diagnosed with ADHD, about heritability and stuff with respect to ADHD. So my mom and I both participated in it, and she sort of, after the evaluation process that was part of that, she was kind of like, huh, maybe I should get, like, screened. And turns out, yep. But after that, especially once I turned 18, one of the programs in the Philly area does a lot of medical studies. And I participated in a bunch of them. So I've been in the cool 7 Tesla MRI. So most MRIs are like low single-digit Tesla sort of range. The 7 Tesla one, though, is actually kind of cool to get put into, because the magnetic field actually it was strong enough that it was starting to like mess with my perception of space as if it was a funhouse mirror. And in particular, think of like space is being bowed in towards you, towards the middle of like your perception, and then tapering away from you or going wide at the peripheral. Neurologist is trying to figure out a cause for recurring spasms, and signs are pointing toward after not finding a cause in your neck. So brain. Okay, yeah. Oof, that's not exactly the happiest of... I'm trying to think of a good way to articulate the sentiment that I'm feeling. I hope that y'all find answers and it's nothing too crazy or troublesome, really. Like, I know you're talking about recurring spasms, and that is troublesome, but in terms of... It's the... I'm hoping that it's basically the brain equivalent of a stubbed toe and not something scarier. Your first MRI a few years ago, lower back, left you disoriented for a half hour. They're neat things. The biggest problem that I had in them was trying not to fall asleep. Which is funny, because like you're in this... The biggest thing for me is the MRI rooms. So medical imaging technology gets really warm. It produces a lot of heat, especially when you're dealing with things like MRI machines. So that's part of why, kind of like you think of like computer servers. and stuff being in cooled environments, in climate controlled environments. It's one of many reasons why the rooms that MRIs and stuff in tend to be pretty cool. Like temperature wise. And no, they for me, cold equals tired and tired equals cold. Like, I start getting cold when I get tired. And if I get cold, I start getting tired. And it's not like the full-on hypothermia response problem. It's just, for me, cooler temperatures equal sleep. So having that plus just the all-encompassing noise of the machine, and just, it's this weird omnipresent feeling of it. Because most of the time you have sound that comes from you can look at something across the room and say that's the point source of a sound. But if you're in something like an MRI machine, the sound is all around you. And it's this weird, it's like sensory deprivation by flooding a sensory channel with noise. So you think of it as like having a white noise machine or something that cancels things out, true, but also just, it's something that is even in general that gets tuned out. It's the same kind of way that I use like music when I'm working on stuff to help fill audio channels with a low priority signal. But when you're in like an MRI machine, sight doesn't do you much good, and you've got this all-encompassing sound, and the machine is vibrating and stuff, and it's actually really oddly calming for me. So it's like, throw me in an MRI machine and I have trouble not passing out of sleep. Try to sleep in a regular bed. You spent 4 hours laying down in your bed upon getting home. But no, like that's at least my experience with it is. Now, again, I've had the luxury of it not being due to, at least in most cases, not due to being, oh god, like, is there a brain problem? It's, no. We're doing a study. We're just checking out stuff. Here. We're scanning your brain for science. I've joked that my participation in these studies basically amounts to whoring my brain out for science. But, it's funny though, because, like, you get paid for involvement in things like medical studies generally. You get compensation according to whatever, basically inconvenience or stuff is incurred, your time, etc. And it's not like full, job payment level, but it's, hey, if you're a college student. But, no, I ended up, they have trouble making sense of the info they got for me. Yeah, kinda. I had a knack for winding up with, the like, lead investigator in studies, like, coming in and talking to me, because, heck, we've seen it on stream. Some of the ways that I talk about things, like the experience of ADHD or trauma and things like that, are... It sounds bad if I say it like this, but it's the kind of thing that I'm oddly articulate. So, I don't know whether it's they've put a note in my file of, hey, talk to this chick. She's crazy, but she's the kind of crazy that, results in really good feedback and like, descriptions of things. But I've ended up talking with the principal investigator on, I think, like, 80% of the studies that I've participated in. Oops. My favorite one, I had a running joke for a while that, because there was a study that they were doing that involved, basically in certain disorders and conditions, things like the sense of smell are altered, or not necessarily altered, but things like a suppressed or oversensitive sense of smell, say, they found a link potentially between that and certain conditions. And they were investigating it further to try and characterize, more about what conditions and stuff it was associated with. They'd found one initially, but they were looking at some of the broader stuff with that. So part of that involved them taking a sample from the inside of my nose, actually. So, and that was like $200. That part of the study, you get paid some for the screening, or not screen, interview stuff. It's not strictly a screening. It's through the comprehensive interview. You get paid for a certain amount, which is sort of a common core for a bunch of these studies with this one institution. It's a common, core set of questions, information, etc. You didn't mean to derail the stream? Nah, this is no problem. For what it's worth, I'm having the kind of day where a particularly stubborn butterfly getting in my way could easily derail, like, my train of thought. Just, that's the kind of day it is. It's okay. But, nah, it was like 200, but so, it might be like, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks depending for the base interview portion of it, provided you complete the other parts of the study. Or, maybe it's, for the MRI, it's like 30 or 40 bucks. But the piece of my nose, the piece of the inside of my nose was 200. So I was sitting there making jokes for ages afterwards of, yeah, so if I could sell like one tiny piece of the inside of my nose for science, just imagine what I could sell the rest of me for. No, it was actually really cool. I will say that hurt though. You know how, like, if you have a really bad sneeze or something, how that hurts, and like you end up with your eyes hurting and your face just like, what? Or if you've ever had the misfortune of getting like punched or hit in the nose, how it's such a huge, like, oh my god. Yeah, basically imagine, they basically did what amounts to taking like a little melon baller to take a little like chunk of the inside of my nose, and then you quickly damp it up and everything, make sure that it clots, and it was funny though, because they're like, this is probably gonna hurt, and I'm like, but by the time that happened, I'm like, for what it's worth, like, I woke up partway through my wisdom teeth getting removed, and was like alert enough to feel the pain when they were pulling out the second half of one of the teeth and like interacting with nerve. So I managed to stay still for that. Is it less than that? Oh yeah. Yeah, Erica's calling me an organ thief. Kitty Melon. Hold up. Air keeps calling me an organ thief means that I have to grab one quick thing. It's super quick. It's just off camera. Give me 1 sec. That was my lunchbox for the later portions of college. I think I've told the story about that Secret Santa exchange. That was an excellent one. So, a really quick thing though, and then we're getting back to gameplay. There's a book that I'm really excited for that's coming out, and it's something that I think is a cool thing to share with you guys if you might be interested. Let me pull it up. I pulled up the name when I was talking to my mother earlier. She says hi to everyone on stream, by the way. Where is it? Come on. Invisible Women. Data bias in a world designed for men. Now, it specifically deals with the gender gap issues and stuff like that. But dealing with things like the history of this and its impacts in things like medical trials and studies, vehicle design. I don't have the statistics handy, but basically, like, one of the things that so men are more likely to wind up in car crashes or car accidents, but women are overwhelmingly more likely to wind up severely injured or killed in those accidents. Partly because of things like that. I'm 5'2", right? There are a non-negligible number of vehicles in the US that, yeah, you shouldn't be sitting in the front seats if you are below about 5'4". So, to put some of that in perspective a little. But no, it's, I heard about this book. I think it's available already on ebooks and stuff, but I ordered a hardcover copy, and I'm really excited for it because this is a nice intersection of my interests. You know, got it ties into things like experimental design and statistical shenaniganery like that. It ties into a whole bunch of special interest sorts of issues, you know, dealing with, yeah, medical, industrial design, you know, ergonomic stuff. Like, a lot of the stuff that's designed to be ergonomic, right, just doesn't work for my body. You know, I'm short, I'm, you know, relatively, like, I would straight up be called overweight if not obese. For all that I'm not like a bowling ball, but that's just how I carry my weight. I have a bunch of muscle that happens to also have a fair bit of insulation around it. But, so you wind up with a whole bunch of stuff like that. And this also impacts, you know, for all that it's talking about invisible women, it doesn't just apply to, you know, men versus women. It basically boils down to if you don't fall into what society's idea of normal is, or, you know, what a designer's idea of normal is, or what an engineering team's idea of normal is, then that can compromise things like your safety in different environments, is a lot of what this boils down to. This includes things like a lot of medical trials having historically only featured white men. They didn't include women because of the degree of variance introduced by things like hormones. Never mind the fact that it's come to light over time that, you know, heart attacks manifest very differently in men versus women. You know, here's a fun one. So Viagra. When they were doing it, you know, which is known as the erectile dysfunction drug, the little blue pill that, you know, rich white men use if they're having trouble getting it up. Okay. That medication also showed promise on another front, though. You know this story. It also showed promise on another front, and that was dealing with things like, you know, women's period symptoms, etc. You know, here's another fun one. So, birth control pills. I don't know how many of you guys are aware of, you know, birth control pills. So they come in a like 28-day pack, where, you know, most of them are, you know, the hormones and stuff, but 4 to 7 of them, depending upon which one you're on, are basically blank pills. You know, it's not. It's basically pills to help you keep, you know, in the habit of taking it at a fixed time. But that's, you know, the different colored pills don't have the hormones in them, and it lets your body, you know, cycle. That doesn't really have much of a medical basis. The guy who was originally, I'm trying to remember the full, like, super precise details, but basically he was trying to preemptively appease the Catholic Church and try to get them on board with it by having it, you know, by having it be a little more natural, right? You know, if it's expected that women are going to bleed once a month, then you just sort of keep that in there. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Sure, it's something that, you know, obviously consult with your physician, etc., your prescribing physician, and make sure that they're aware of how you're taking, you know, medications and stuff. But basically, you can chain birth control back to back, and, you know, provided your body, you know, doesn't have a significant reason to not, or doesn't respond well to the hormones, you can basically never have a period. And that works. Now, it's not for everyone. I mean, heck, there's a fair few reasons why I don't, like, I was on hormonal birth control for a while when I was a teenager, partly because my cycle was so bad. But at this point, no. I haven't been on it for years, but that's due to other side effects that I became aware of over time and decided weren't for me. But that was also, you know, my decision. But no. Fun stuff like that, though. You know, basically, one of the reasons why things like the principles of experimental design are so important to really fundamentally understand, and dealing with things like build on probabilities, understanding of statistics and things like that. Like the reason why there needs to be more consulting statisticians in so many research settings and not just, you know, oh, I have data, you know, can you analyze it for me? But in terms of the front end, designing better experiments way, which also ties into a whole bunch of things, you know, like the fact that null results are basically completely disincentivized. I don't know, nothing really happened doesn't get you published. It is basically what it comes down to. And there's a whole lot of, you know, systemic problems in academia that tie into that. But if you just look at it in terms of the experimental design perspective and trying to make sure that you're do meaningful science, you know, make sure that you're not gonna, especially for things like, oh god, I was friends with a grad student who she talked about, I was an undergrad and she was a grad student, and she talked about how if she had understood more about experimental design before she started her experiments for her thesis, she would have done them so differently and it would have been so much better. Like, not just in terms of the results you get, but just in terms of how everything is set up and designed and done. No, you have to be careful about things like bias, and not just in terms of, like, there's a lot of kinds of bias that come into statistics, actually. There's things like the bias of the experimenter or the person who's putting together a questionnaire, or even of the questions themselves, agnostic of who's making them. There are biases that are baked into language and into some of the ways in which we ask questions and formulate hypotheses. But there's also literally, in the statistics sense, bias, as in, if you've ever taken a introductory statistics class, they've talked about things like the normal distribution. So you get different formulae that apply when you're dealing with an assumed normal distribution, as you can use z values, etc. There's corrections that have to be applied when you're using t distributions, which allow you to work at smaller sample sizes and stuff like that are corrections, basically. And and there's different ways to compute properties and stuff that have to deal with bias. It would actually be fun. I should go through and really refresh myself on the topic sometime, because it's something that's cool to actually work through. And I don't know whether that would have a place on stream ever, but it's a really cool thing. But yeah, in any case, so it occurs to me that I've talked a bunch and danced around a whole bunch of issues that we're probably going to be, especially when I get to reading this book, we're probably going to hear more about them in the coming month or so. But I want to quickly type this in. So that it's available in chat for the more visual folks among us. But yeah, so I said that I didn't want to have this turn into a full talk.strim, but it kind of happened. On the upside, we're not strictly paused. But yeah, that is the book. I think that the hardcover edition drops in March, or no, not on March 12th. So I think ours is arriving the 14th, and yeah, no surprise here. You promise? Yeah, no. The fact that I'm gonna be talking about things that are on my mind? No, never. But no. Tangents are fun. Always be learning, always be doing cool things. Wait, hold on. That's not fair. This is not fair because camera controls let me view a hell of a lot more than joystick controls for camera. Like, I can see everything when I control, oh god, when I control my camera with whatchamacallit, with the mouse. That's like, this is me trying to control it with joystick. That's not fair. Oh god. How did I just like zoom to the ground? No, I'm not salty about those controls. Why would you ever think that? Oh, checkpoint. Cool. Is there a thing over there? There's a gear or something. I don't know what I think it is. Oh god, why it won't let me climb up that thing? Oh god, camera. It is confirmed. Camera hates me. At least my car camera doesn't. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I sort of wound up... I drive a CRV. I have no idea how I ended up with Cam, or Cameron, as a name coming from that. But, No, my CRV is named Cameron. So, okay. I will say, I had a day of feeling old today. So, one of my friends from high school posted on Facebook. My mom mentioned it when I was talking to her on the phone today. That there'd been like a Facebook thing that it said I was friends with said person like for 10 years. And I'm just, I could not accept it. I was like, what? What? And then I sort of thought about it and I'm like, oh god, it really has been that long. Like, I don't know what I expected. So we have more yarn, which I have no idea if we're getting more hats. I don't think we're due for more hats, but we're still gonna pick up yarn. Gosh yarn it. That needs to be the way that I say gosh darn here. Gosh yarn it. So we're gonna keep working our way up the windmill. Even if we wind up having a really bogged down session, because I know I'm distractible and things are silly and all that jazz. Even if we wind up just having one of those like super distractible sessions, I want to at least finish some of this stuff windmill-wise. So this is a checkpoint. We see things. Hearts. Those are platforms. Oh god. Oh god. Overcorrections. So we're heading... Where the heck am I even going? There was a door that was opened down here. So we're gonna... Hold up. Tongue sticking out is necessary for the vials to go boom. I promise. Birds are bad. Birds are bad. I still blame staged. I'm sure he's okay with being blamed. Right, there's a ladder. Why am I trying to get silly about jumping? There's a perfectly good ladder. Oh god. There's also... Yeah, I'm realizing how unfriendly the camera is for controller now. Like, why? Just why? The world may never know. We have this lift. Just making sure we're not missing anything. The funny thing is that this is actually enough that if my hands weren't so screwed right now, I might actually switch to keyboard. Okay. That worked. It wasn't pretty. Wasn't elegant. Definitely not elegant. So, there's things over there. Checkpoint. Looking around, seeing if there's anything. I should be... There's yarn over there. There's also shinies. We have shinies. Yo. That view is cool. You know, it'd be cool not getting stuck on the upper edge of boxes. How do we get over there? That's what I'm wondering. Windmill is just huge and it's great. Seriously. Am I gonna have to drop in from above or something? No, that doesn't feel like it would be it. Are there any jump ups from below available? Not that I'm seeing. We'll allow it. Bells? Oh my god. Those weren't bells. Those were bags. Oh god. There's... No. Bad raccoon. No! Heck. I have the umbrella badge on. Come here. Boom. Damn it. I have a snag on my lip. Okay. Whoa. That's actually really cool. I like that. So we had to alternate between the cars, and every time we hit the button, they pushed across part of the way. It was just really cool. What's the dealio with this? Cool. We just use that to wall run up. I love the tumble jumps. I think I call them tumble jumps because of the, like, flip in midair bit. Oh god. I was afraid of jumping over the edge. So, checkpoint. Bird! Bird! Bird, 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 bird. There we go. Jump the gun on the one. Bird, bird, bird. It's like it's like a great game of duck, duck, goose. So there is no goose. There is only bird. Oh god. All running shenaniganery. I had no idea what was going on there, but it worked. That's kind of just the theme of things. So sometimes I am somewhat self-conscious about the fact that I don't have like a huge... Hey, 777! You know what this game is telling us right now? We are winners. Every one of you here right now. And I. All together, we are winners. So one of the things I get self-conscious about is the fact that, like, and it's something I have to grapple with when streaming, is the self-directed perception of I'm not really great at games. Like, I'm a super nerd about some things and I love them, but I'm not necessarily like, good at them. And I've been working on that as a whole. As dumb as it is, this game, I know part of it is the forgiving movement, but we are winners. But the fluidity of the movement in a lot of ways, and the fact that I've stopped having to go as much, how am I going to approach this? And it's more just like, oh, is this just a jump, jump, tumble? Oh, okay. Like, my fingers are doing it before I even fully process it. It's making me recognize that, like, my reflexes are better than I give myself credit for. Don't get me wrong, I still have my issues, and it's not necessarily something that translates to every game just because, oh, you can platform okay in one game. But just in terms of in general. And I find it funny that the We Are Winners thing came up right as I was starting to muse about that thought. Maybe that's the game trying to tell me that, no, I need to quit being so hard on myself. I can do the thing. You know? That said, I'm figuring out how to proceed. Oh, there's a thingy. Spot check. Spot check made. Oh, I bonked and I just failed to process where everything was. No, I love this. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh! Really? It was like three-dimensional BS hitboxes on steroids. I smack you. Okay. So now, I think we're just continuing across. That seems to be the name of the game. Yeah, I knew I was taking that. Wasn't pretty. But I understood that that egg was a... It was coming for me. It was out to get me. Oh god. Did it run into the bird? Is that what happened there? Because by all rights, I should have just been owned. What's up here? Anything? 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 Oh. Okay. Woo! Ooh. There we go. I see a shiny. Rift token! I think we were at 2 shinies last time, which means that we would be... If we had 2 rift tokens last time, then that means that we have enough to make a roll this time. Can't see where I can jump to that's safe. There's a shiny up there. I think we just sort of hop over to this side. Just skip the boxes. Tumble jumps. Yeah, we're progressing pretty smoothly now that, you know, I stopped, you know, just talking endlessly. It's amazing. Turns out we can actually make progress in games. Nah, I know we proved that last week. Whoa. Camera was trying to kill me. I refused. SNDP. There's spiders! There were spiders. I'm all for spider bros, but come on. Nope. Nope, no, no, no. I have no idea what I was doing there. Other than, you know, not doing the thing. On the upside, they understood that people were gonna fall. We follow up here. Whee! Shiny up there. How do we get up to there? Oh, platforms like these. They use the shinies to tell you where to go. Jeez, that was nice of them. Ah, this is just a good area. There we go. We got it. So 21. Our save file can drink. Legally in the US. Totally. That's totally how this works, right? Welcome on in, Dragon Liege. Yup. So now we have itchy boys. The illness has spread. Does that mean that it is time to get down with the sickness? I can hear stage facepalm from here. So, fun fact, this is the first finale that we've, like, fully unlocked. Is there anyone around to talk?
I don't know much. If you get in.
Okay, so they're basically just saying normal things. The last non-DLC world, yes. So the last non-DLC world is the first one we opened up the finale for.
Welcome, young one. Please make a purchase at my...
Just your friendly neighborhood kitty. So we're gonna grab the Mumble badge, just cuz. We're just gonna buy all the badges. Like, that's one of the things that's just gonna happen. That was a lot of shinies.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, everything got a lot more sinister. It's storming now. So there's crazy purple lightning over there. There's crazy purple lightning over there. There's crazy purple lightning over there, and I'm assuming that there's going to be one more set. We're ignoring blowing up the shiny and seeing... Okay, so is it just the 3? Oh yeah, he does not look happy. What? Why are things going boom? Let's start heading over there. So let's see. We need to... Which way do we have to go? To get there. I think it's that set over there, which... Oh god. It's really alarming, and I'm really glad that I don't have the sound up very hard. How dare you mess with my allergies? I know, right? Experience the wrath of every hay feverish goat. Oh. Oh, ow. Okay. Thanks. No, stop. Go away. Nobody likes you. Oh, so they're destroying some of the terrain. This explains why some of it was so forgiving. Is because they had to build it so that when they destroyed some of it, you could still happily access things. 1. What? 2. 3. Are you starting to throw... They're throwing crap at me. There's also a treasure or something around here, according to... We're just gonna... Okay. When in doubt, hit it with an umbrella? So, it indicated there was some sort of treasure out this way. So I'm wondering if there was a chest or something that I missed, or if it's indicating that there's, like, another shiny What's the best way to defeat flowers? Umbrellas, totally. Totes my goats. Gosh, my puns are terrible tonight. Y'all are probably having a cow over them. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I just almost spaghettied. Whoa. Out of here. Noin. I'm trying to think if there's like anything that I might have missed in this area. 2, 3. Oh. I have no idea what I was doing there, but whatever it was wasn't working. Come on. I think my hands are just not happy with me at the moment. I may have to take another quick breather for a bit soon. It was for what it's worth, getting distracted and talking today is not terrible on that front. Because I know I keep referring to my title, but my title is very much accurate. I did strain, or pull one of the muscles in my left hand, and my right hand has been experiencing a carpal tunnel flare-up. What? Whoa! I had no idea where I was. Screw it. We're focusing on finale. That was one. Oh. I have no idea what I was doing. This is Bird Pass Fork. I just come back the way that... Ah, heck. Nope. I'm on the correct side. Yes. Focus on plot in my kitty stream? It's more likely than you think. Something to that effect, Air Caves. Every once in a blue moon we do it just to surprise you. You know, just so that you can never say that we never get to plot. So we're just focusing on getting to the next point we need to be at. So this is another way that we have to go. We get to plot? What are we plotting? Something. I probably should have surveyed which direction I needed to head in. I hope this is correct. I don't think it was. Is to take over the world? Clearly. Clearly. Don't you know? Kittybard running for presidential election. Don't you know? Running for the U.S. presidential election on a platform of let's see, kitten cuddles for all. Unless you don't want them. Kitten cuddles for all and long tangents. No. Air Caves, it's not the destruction of capitalism, it's the distraction of capitalism. Oh yeah, and better learning environments. And a very SNDP. Yep. Strict no dying policy. See? That is clearly what we are working on here. We are using our magical zipline powers and our and showing that we can, you know, don many hats as, you know, any of many hats as need be to get the job done. We are proving that I am the presidential candidate you all have been waiting for. Totes my goats. Vote for Kitty. Gosh. She may be old, but she's still got it. Oh, thanks. Love you too, dear. Love you too. Okay. We're heading up here, I guess? Whoa. No, we're not. We have this. So here's another evil flower of doom. What? What? I have no idea what the heck is going on. Everything's exploding. Yeah, that emote is very much me right now, Dragon Liege. Like, I know I say I'm used to everything being on fire, but I generally don't mean literally. Okay, so let's try this again, but better. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Everything go boom. Oh god. Am I even going the right way? I think, maybe. Oh god. Heck. Oh heck. Oh, I bonked. I bonked! No! Why does it put me all the way back here? Okay, we did get that. Where are we going? We're heading over this way. Okay. So it's not throwing the pillars at us anymore? That works. Just launch myself off a building. When in doubt, launch myself off a building. Is there any, like, hidden secret here? Okay. Does not appear to be. At least not that kind. So we have another to go. Oh, that knocks out the goat. Okay. We are attempting to save all of goat kind. I don't know if I can succeed. I'm trying to figure out if I can make a pun about feta with this. Like problem is I want to make a, like, they better not forget about it joke, but with feta, and it's not quite working. That's one of the hardest, most frustrating things, is like when you get a good pun in mind and you just cannot think of how to make it work. It's just not happening. I have no idea if this takes me anywhere friendly. Oh. So, heading down here. I have one more flower to think about it. Yeah. I think it's one that it just needs to... there's some puns that only work when they're written, and there's others that work best when spoken. I think this is one that works best when it's written, probably. Because I think it's this sort of thing where it sounds too derpy if you try to say it. Boom. Noom. Noom. Okay. Whoa, I just spaghettied everywhere. I went through about 5 different buttons and just nothing that could save me from plunging into the pit. Is this where we're supposed to go? Probably, because it's not, like, blocked. So it's saying, yeah, so it's saying that there's a treasure here. Is that just meant to indicate that there's a flower here? I don't know. One, two, three, bird. There's the lava cake. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? This way? So we just came from that way, I think. So we head up this way. I know, mighty specific. Smack! Ow! There were 2 of them. This is not the way to go. This looks, maybe promising? Oh god. Stop getting my camera buried in the clover. We're gonna use the mouse to try to look around, maybe? Hold up. There we go. So we're heading over there. Okay, so it is those. Okay. Well, these are not the same ones I spotted before, I don't think. But... okay. Oh, heck. Okay, come on. Don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Okay. Can I make this jump? Looks like. Okay, so that's another flower. Flower of Doom! Seriously. So did I just...
Is it over? The air is clear again. And the goats seem to have come to their senses again. I don't really understand it, but I assume we have you to thank. We found this in a cluster of those flowers after they wilted again. You were pretty insistent on going after the others, so I guess it belongs to you. Thank you for helping us.
Okay. No boss fight this level. Yeah, that I was honestly expecting to have to like fight a giant flower of doom or like a what amounts to a giant Venus flytrap or something. Huh. So yeah. Time Rift. We got another one? Top of a house by the windmill. Cats. Trying to think of the best way to get to there. I think this kind of works to get there. Let's see if we can track that one down a sec. And then we're going to move on to another area. So we're just using this to get sort of proximate, in theory, to where we need to be. I don't even know if this was the right sort of area. Windy Passage. Ah, there's the cat village thing. Boom! Right?
This one leads to a horn. You can just...
Yep. I think this is it. So we're gonna see if we can quickly pick this up.
Take care, kid.
Okay. Damn it, my nose itches. So let's take a run up here. Oh my... Heck. There we go. Got my hat. Can we get on the ladder? That was the horn. And that's the rift. Boom. Found it. So let's go. Curly Tail Trail. Oh, there's gonna be cats here, aren't there? I love cats. But not when they're trying to jack my shit. Still love how pretty these areas are. Called it! No! I don't even have my hat! I don't have my badges! There we go. The pillars. Oh. So we can go on the pillars. Whoa. That edge guarding. Seriously! Like... Can we not? Okay, so now the question is, what do I do with this? Okay. Just find ways to hop across. Got it. I can do that. Yeah, I was getting really badly edge guarded there. Okay. The good news is that once I just started running for it, we did better. I got an achievement and I didn't see what it was. Nope. 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 Crap. I didn't mean to grab that. Oh, I got 100% timepieces in Alpine. Ah, okay. Woo! Yo! And it keeps telling us to go back to that one. Which I guess will... I don't know which one we're gonna head back to. I remember there were a bunch of shinies that I wanted to get in, whatchamacallit? In the first area. I think we're gonna revisit Mafia Town a little. Oh, yeah, we have to unlock that, and there's the Golden Vault. There were also a couple that had, whatchamacallits, like little vaults that I was supposed to unlock, and I think I got them, but I don't remember. So that's by... Green writing... I'm going to take a quick picture of this one using just phones that I could have it set separately to everything. No, we're going to run around here a little bit, maybe get another act in of birds, and then, like I said, it's not a terribly long stream tonight. We will unlock that, though. Eating up Mafia, oh my god. So, I don't know what we're doing. Just... Looks good with this one, I guess. I just need to go, like, somewhere in this so that I can start poking around for rifty thingies and stuff like that. The raincoat is so cute. Okay, so I need to think of where things are. I want to ring the bell, but... Ring the bells of Mafia Town. Okay, so I'm trying to remember... So, we have along a waterway where there's a grate. Not that kind of grate. It's just so much easier to move around here now. So we're basically on shiny watch. I probably should have picked one that didn't have as much rain just so that the visibility was better. Hindsight's 2020. I now know what to do with that. Got it. So that's a shiny. It's not this pathway, but there is something shiny at the top of the... Come on. Boom. This is so much fun. We really are hardcore parkour. How to get up there to the shiny? Oh, there we go. We run up here. Rift token. So now I still need to find where the one rift is. A brick wall. Whoa! They have elevators? So... this is a thing. So we just... bounce on this? Yup. I can go shiny hunting. Okay, so just trying to figure out how to get out of here. Okay, got it. So, we still need to find the one grate. Oh, hold up. That's the graffiti, I think. Aha! Oh my god, come on. There we go. Got it. Time Rift Sewers. Isn't this great? Air caves, please. Oh! Okay, so those were just 1-2 counts. Boo! Yeah. Quality stream this might be. I cannot make the same guarantee for the puns. So that was one wall that we went up. Woo! Okay, this is just fun. This was just a really cool little area. I liked that one. So we've gotten like 4 hourglass at this stream. No. No! What? Sure. The freedom. I want new hats. Well, not like, not, I know that I can't roll like a strictly new kind of hat, but I want new swag. So, does anything else pop up here? Okay. Yep, we do have rift tokens. I was just thinking about that. We have 4, so we can roll for a shiny thingy. If I can find the door. Boom. Heck yeah, we want gifts. Nope. Nope. I guess we're getting remixes. Okay, so now... Let's see, I think we were thinking of going back to the birds. Trying to remember. Yeah. I'm not... Oh, God. I just pulled out my earbuds. I'm sorry, guys. It just killed your stream audio. Hold on. Let me fix that. Hold up. Hold up. I clotheslined myself. NBD. That should be... Maybe? Is it okay? Hey, come on, OBS. OBS. Hey, buddy. Buddy. OBS. Am I getting any audio? I know you can hear me. Hold up. Let me restart the game a sec. I'm gonna see if this is something that... so go to desktop a sec. Give me a moment. I am cutting, Steam a sec. 'Cause sometimes Steam likes to break when I unplug my headphones. So I just killed those processes. I'm reopening the game. We should be okay. Hopefully. Please. I mean, I could always unmute the window that has my stream and use that to check whether desktop audio exists, but I don't think that any of us want to hear that. So we're just trying to get the game up and running. Steam is loading. Hat in time. Play Hat in time. I think this happened at the start of the last stream. It's thinking. We have sound. It's okay, I broke it, but I fixed it. We're at 52% completion. Woof. Over halfway there. We're not even living on a prayer. Like, I'd like to think that we're almost, you know, thriving. Intruder alert. What?
Hey there, we're the Express Band, just a bunch of owls that got together to play music while riding the conductor's Owl Express. Is it okay if we practice here? In exchange, if you have any song requests, we'll be happy to play whatever you have in mind.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Some of the music you hear in the different chapters? Or want to hear us practice? Catch this one. This is the favorite piece of us Express Owls. This time we added some fresh groove to it. What do you think?
That's a jammy.
Wanna swap out some of the music you hear?
Okay, so what are we doing? We are this is music for a level I haven't done. Okay, so we done a whole bunch of the Alpine stuff. You know what? I'm gonna hold off on birds until next week because I really want to start a stream with the birds next week. That's what I'm feeling. I really like the idea of starting stream with birds next week. I'm gonna write that down so that it exists. I think we're gonna do a little bit of Mafia Town stuff because we're in the realm of maybe like 15-20 more minutes probably, and I want to be able to sit down with Mafia, or not with the what do we call it, Battle of the Birds, and really just kick back with it. So we have Act 7, the Golden Vault, bust open the big safe. I know you want burbs. I want to start with them next week. That's what I'm feeling. I want to go in fresh, completely energized. Nah. Like I said, we'll launch right into them next week. I have it written down. It's sitting in front of me. It's sitting directly where I will see it before I even start stream. And if I forget, you can yell at me and I throw corn at me. That's what you could throw at me. Corn and sunflower seeds. So we have Heating Up Mafia Town, which population, lots of fried mafia. Mission, cool things down. Perspiration, yes, unfortunately. Golden Vault, bust open the big safe. Perspiration, hopefully not. Then we're gonna go with Heating Up. We have fried mafia. What? This is why you never turn the thermostat up past like 75 in the winter.
Look at mess. This is terrible. Someone turn on all faucets in Mafia Town. Same faucets that control the town volcano. Was it you, child? No?
Yeah, Dragon Liege has the right of it. Time for some. The floor is lava.
Little hat kid.
Oh.
Save Mafia Town by turning off all faucet. If you close all, maybe water start.
Oh no! Yikes! Nope. I was trying to go for the fancy, like, jump from across the way. It just didn't work. Okay, so how are we getting up there? Ow. Hey! That's one. Did I just climb up the lava? Yes, I did. What of it? That's the power of chutzpah. I just had a moment where I realized that I feel like a little bit goofy, like Sora. Oh god, that didn't mean that pun. I promise I did not intend for that pun. But when he goes, that's the power of the Keyblade! Kingdom Hearts 1. That's the power of Chutzpah! And I kind of had this internal cringe yikes moment. Where does this take us? We've figured this out before, I think. No? Is there anything down here? There's a shiny. Haha! Camera badge. Press back to take pictures of your journey. Swap it out at any time in the start menu. And now we have to get back. Woo! Whoa! Just casually flying all over. Oh. Almost went swimming in lava. Generally not recommended. Generally, it's often true that, you know, lava is hot. Oh, it won't. It's not liking me while running right now. I'm trying to see if there's any, like, hearts tucked around. I love how I've bought so much stuff and I'm still collecting shinies. Like, the shiny reflex is a thing. Sawed off. Okay, so I need to try to be systematic in this. In my search. There's a jump pad over there. Quite possibly pairs with the one here. Yep. Oh, crap. I have no idea what's going on. All I know is ow. Okay, so dealt with that faucet. Look at the upside. I didn't decide to name it Farah. Fun fact, the camera was something I could have had as early as the Mud Alien chapter. Could have. Didn't. That's because I'm silly. Shinies. Wonderful world of... No, stop. Thank you. No! So there's one way out there. But there's one that seems to be tucked back up in here. Somewhere? Somewhere? I have no idea which jump pad that ties to. Oh! Hi! That is, in fact, a thing. Whoa! I have no idea what just happened. Sometimes we get some, like, glitchy jump action. I have to say. That's a chest. What do we get? Rift token! We continue getting shinies, which means that we can get awesome swag. I am all about this. So yeah, out there appears to be faucet.
Cave off limits. Boss ordered.
Okay. So, I don't know if this does good or bad things for us.
Cave off limit.
What? I'm... Okay. Don't jump into strange launchers, kids. It's a great way to vanish to the other side of an island and I have no idea how to efficiently get back. Okay. So we're just casually proceeding. This, yep, I was like, this looks like a good place to hide something. And lo and behold, there was a chest with a rift token. Okay, so there's the island that's way out there. There's something over that way. Oh, hi. Boing! Shiny! I can get another thing for the Rift Token machine. There's a bunch of kites. I have no idea if those are like something I'm supposed to interact with. I think those balloons are a little far for me to jump. So we're just sort of tumbling down that ways. Okay, so still working out exactly how to get to the one spot. But we are... Whoa. We're working on it.
Mafia still setting up shop. Not open. Even when open.
Child not welcome.
There's shops and stuff down here. I'm gonna switch to mouse momentarily. Cool, there is some place to go down there. That isn't like instant lava death. Rift token! There we go. Cool. Oh, right. Bleh. Shinies! Shinies! That are not readily magneting. Boing. And this launches me up here. Convenient. So we have one in this area. There's a whole... Cool. Oh, no. No, stop. Can we not? Can we not? Didn't the camera badge you picked up auto-equip in place of your magnet badge? Dragon Liege knows what's up. Apparently I didn't. There's a shiny over there. But I have no idea how we get to, if not the kites. Boom. Did I flood the world with lava again? Kitty. No, Thren. I didn't. But the one who looks like my evil twin probably did it. It's really bad when we're using the evil twin defense because nobody ever believes you. So how do we get up to the top of that tower? There's a pad. There's a jump pad. Which leads from where? Do you think Stage could tell you apart? Well, I should hope so, because the one has a mustache. Friggin' ass. Hi, kitty. Welcome on in, Naki. Oryx says, help! Mellow, hello, not oh my god. See, I was figuring that Oryx was asking me to, like, go poke Staged or something. Nah. Said many hugs. Stage. Depends on how much you could observe. Oh my god. If you mustache the question, then clearly there's a problem or you're Sean Connery. So how am I expected to get up there? I don't know, but the shop dude is in... Okay.
Welcome, young.
Yeah, there's only one badge left to buy, and I can't buy it yet. So, we're switching over to Mouse's heck? Dang it! Oh, thank you so much, Oryx. Fantastic. Thank you. Friend, maybe I'm Conchonery, his evil twin. Stage Boyrix. Oh my god. It's your boy, Oryx. I feel like we've been over this. I feel like I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, and I'm feeling really bad. Do I have it right, or am I being a baddie? The world is flooding with lava. Time to go shopping. Oh, clearly. You know me too well, Air Caves. Now, we've been working our way through stuff. We actually finished an act. Now we're revisiting some of the Mafia Town stuff, and it is silly and ridiculous, and the world is literally on fire. Which, given how my week has been... Well, specifically how yesterday was... Hey yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy, it ain't Minecraft, but I still flooded this world. How about that? Dang it, Thren. Stage given this week very par for the course. Yeah. So the title, right, is accurate. I pulled a muscle in this hand, and this hand has a carpal tunnel flare-up. Stage, never say that again, either of you. You're right, it's Twitch, not YouTube. You caught me. Gosh, jeez. Okay, Dad. But no, so usually I carry 12 packs of soda, basically doing the Vulcan Live Long and Prosper hand grip with 2 fingers each supporting a 12 pack. That's how I've just always carried them. I screwed up and I was distracted and talking on the phone while I was bringing in groceries yesterday. These 3 fingers ended up serving the one 12 pack, and the other one was just on my index finger, but I didn't notice it at first. I noticed that, like, oh, this isn't quite as stable as usual. I don't know why. Maybe I honestly, in the moment, I probably assumed that it was something like the box was gonna try to rip, or the case was gonna try and rip. So, you know, you get it inside as fast as you can. Except it shifted a bit, and then I felt the line of pain in my palm. That I know exactly what that kind of pain means. It means I pulled a muscle. So yeah, pulled a muscle in this hand. We were gonna do the witness stream yesterday, except the migraine came back. And the problem is, since it's a WASD plus mouse situation, it's not like a first-person shooter or anything. So it's not like I have to be super precise and accurate all the time. So I was gonna bind onto the buttons on the side of my mouse. I was gonna bind forward and backward walking, if nothing else, and turn it into parallel parking and 3-point turns of the stream, the myth, the legend. Oh god, there's a cluster of... I should have gotten flattened several times, except I don't even want to know what they were doing in the air together. But so, no, I was gonna basically have it be so controlling where I'm looking with my mouse and only move forward and backwards. So it's basically like driving a car at that point. Time to get a keypad. Yeah. Now, the carpal tunnel flare-up was just the insult to injury, but I'm doing what I can to rest that. Once the flare-up ends, there's exercises that I really do need to get back to doing. There's a really cool one that's called a median nerve glide, where, like, literally you can feel... So nerves are not, like, super fixed in position, right? They have a certain amount of give to them, and they have to be able to move with your body. Yeah, think of the range of motion associated with your arm. Your nerves have to be able to move within that. At least enough to, you know, not pull apart. So the cool thing about the median nerve glide, which basically amounts to, you know, doing funny positioning with your hand. I can't get far enough back to show properly what it looks like. But you wind up basically putting your hand a certain way and tilting your head. Oh god, that was my neck cracking. While you're standing straight in good posture, and just helping make sure that the nerve can glide freely. Catching up. You know, it's an angry, sad face, but I'd like to think it's just beautiful Joe, who is very sad instead. Friend with reference to Stage's angry face. Well, the witness was the mouse. Please come to the stand. Yeah. Time to keep it. So Naki's saying that Tartarus is doing great, and Pop Stage, you made me cry. Oh no! And I'm making you nervous with all this talk while the world's on fire. How about yours, Thren, Stage? Oh my god, you are all amazing, but holy crap, guys. But no, basically yesterday, just everything hated me. I kept getting hurt in different creative ways. And by creative, I mean generally mundane things that you usually are able to do without thinking about it. Things like walking down the stairs, carrying in your groceries, sitting down. And I was managing to injure myself. He also screwed around and added a weird emote set in the Discord. Oh no, I'm gonna have to take a look at this later. So I'm trying to, let's see. Oh, yeah. Hi, it's right there. The faucet that I'm looking for. Hello, Farah. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, so now we can go on a launcher thing. A1, A2, A3, A4 is the code set. Oh no. I'm morbidly curious. Oh, wow. Whoops. So turns out you can you get massive air off of jumping in lava. If anyone isn't steak sauce related, you quit. Oh my god. I had a friend in marching band who, his rookie year, so on the drill sheets for marching band, right? They have individual designations and like symbols for everyone. So you might have like one set of symbols or letter designations corresponds to like brass, another to woodwinds, or even subsections within them. The friend in question was just arbitrarily, because the drill instructor just basically said just assign it. I have like alto sax 1, 2, 3 or however many they were, and he ended up being A1. So he ended up earning the nickname Steak Sauce. Because and it's not even like he was first chair alto, or it's just literally he ended up with just the designation A1. Naki's saying it's snake related. Okay. Well, snack related. I'm sorry. My apologies. No, that bunch of folks in marching band was great. One of them also ended up with the nickname Sparky. Oh my god. So younger me could sometimes be, you know how I go on about like nicknames and stuff now, and like making sure that I'm calling people what they like would like to be called. So partly because it's just respectful. One of the things that happened in marching band one year, oh god, I landed on the torch. In marching band one year, we had like 4 people with the same first name. There were like, and 2 of them were in the same section. I'm not talking like, woodwinds. No, I'm talking like 2 flautists with the same name sort of thing. Or like 2 trumpetists with the same name. So I ended up becoming friends with one of them. And in their section, the person with the same name had, or the person with the same first name. Because also, it's also one of those things where, to a certain, like, if you have a friend who's, 2 friends whose given name are Andrew, right? Odds are, within the friend group, one of them winds up going by Andrew and the other ends up going by Andy, or something to that effect. And it kind of works out. But when you get too overloaded, literally unless the name is William. If it's William, then suddenly you end up with Will, Willie, Bill, Billy. Or something like that. Or like William, Will, Bill, and just because people are silly, someone winds up with Billiam. Whatever. But, call me T-Money, the Dope-tacular, I demand it, or it's offensive. What? Well, I see how it is. Fine, I will call you T-Money, Dope-tacular, so long as you vote for me for president. And stage, get out of here. Get out of here. So, but you wound up with this name overload. So, and I'm trying to think of a good analog, like, because I'm trying to avoid using names that are, I really try on stream to avoid using names that are readily identifiable sorts of stuff. And even though a name might be common, I'm trying to think of a good example. It'd be like, it actually kind of would be like having, you know, 4 Andrews or 4 Sarahs or something like that. And so I'm also, I've gotten better over time, but I used to be really bad at names, like extraordinarily bad. I could be friends with someone for months and not consistently remember their name. And this has happened on multiple occasions, including in this friendship. So they mentioned that their name was, you know, such and such, and the problem is that my first impression of them was of like a hyperactive young Jack Russell Terrier. And the first name that came to mind alongside that was Sparky. So I ended up basically voicing, God, I'm so mortified. I ended up voicing that thought process, right? And it's like, is it okay if I call you Sparky? And basically they were sort of like, sure. And this became a thing. Like the entire marching band started calling them by this name. And I've never had stuff like that go that level of viral, but part of it was that it was practical. And they okayed it. I made sure that it wasn't like a oh God, you never call me name sort of thing. But no, it was a thing. I just can't believe that I voiced that line of thinking to the individual in question. It's not to say that, like, it's the difference between nowadays me musing over that thought, like, after several good conversations with someone, as opposed to just going like, you remind me of some random dog breed. Duran, you're right. You shouldn't have voiced it. You should have used telepathy. Oh, clearly. One of the things that would sometimes happen in my friend group in high school in particular, we used to have a running joke that I think it started there and followed me to college early on, which was my friend groups would joke about female telepathy, which basically boiled down to, if you've ever been in a group of people and like some of the chicks, it's usually the chicks, but it's not exclusively, wind up like looking at each other, sharing glances. Next thing you know, they're all giggling over something, and just suddenly everyone is losing their shit and nobody knows what happened. Like anyone who wasn't watching the eye contact and whatnot is just so confused. Female telepathy. That just made me think of that. It's funny because now I look back at some of the jokes that I used to make with friends as, you know, like a high schooler and stuff, and it's not, yeah, Air Caves and I do it too. We'll just look at each other across the room and next thing you know, everyone's giggling and folks are like, what the heck is going on? And we're just laughing so hard that we can't even, and even if we could speak and articulate it, it just, but it's funny because I look at how a lot of my like language for things was when I was younger, and it's interesting to me because like language evolves with us. The way that we start referring to things is not necessarily all the way that stays. You find better ways to word things. You get attached to different words and to different concepts, and in some cases it also means that, you know, there's some ideas that you didn't even know you'd had ingrained in you that just got picked up from folks around you. You start thinking of things like, you know, the stereotypes regarding, you know, women do this, men do this, etc. And it just, you sort of look back, and it's not like you're, at least in my case, it's not necessarily that I'm cringing over it, but I sort of go, huh, I had never thought about why I related to the world in that way and used that language for it. This is just the sort of stuff that I wind up thinking about, though. And part of it is the understanding that as much as our thoughts shape our language shapes our thoughts. So, to some extent, there's this feedback loop that happens. So if you consistently describe something a certain way, that will tend to reflect your thoughts regarding it as well. And it's a fascinating sort of thing, and it's part of why language matters when you talk about a lot of issues. I know that on some fronts, it can get a bad rap in some circles, folks getting easily offended by everything, etc. But fundamentally, language matters, and the way in which we describe the world around us shapes how we continue to view it over time. So, I don't know, it's one of those things that's fascinating to start thinking about. And it's one of the reasons why I try to be mindful of the way in which I speak. It's not just, it is for as much for the purpose of conveying to others as it is for making sense of how I'm viewing things myself and how I'm breaking things down and addressing the world around me. And it sometimes results in conscious changes in the way that I speak about others. For example, God, one of the great examples is the assumption that a lot of people make online is that, if you are talking to someone in like a Discord server or just online in general, and you're just looking at a name, most of the time, folks wind up assuming that it's a dude. But things like taking a look at that and going, no. I don't always succeed, but I overwhelmingly try to refer to folks in a gender neutral manner until or unless I have reason to do otherwise. Like, that's, I don't know who I'm talking to, and I know how frustrating and damaging it can be to folks to run into those issues, but that's not necessarily the sort of thing that like a high schooler thinks about. Yep, Tiger says, right, gender is just weird. But no, it's not even a question of like, what you yourself believe at least initially. The language of it isn't necessarily what you believe regarding, the validity of different identities, etc. It's a question of, why are you assuming you're just talking to a dude? Like, for all that, in talking with folks, when I first started frequenting Twitch, I was actually very careful, partly because I was poignantly aware of the fact that I am a chick. I was referring to myself in I wouldn't refer to a boyfriend. I'd refer to my SO. I would generally refer to things in gender neutral sorts of ways. Until or unless I became comfortable enough in a given sphere that I just stopped caring. Now, a lot of folks assumed, based on the name Kittybard, a lot of folks read that as being more of a feminine handle than a masculine one. But it's one of those things that just for the sake of just not winding up with, because I've had but it doesn't happen as much now, but I've had a lot of folks who've, you wind up with folks crushing on you or hitting on you or just being really creepy about stuff, and just no. But basically it came down to my comfort level was signaled to some extent by how free I was in my references. But no, it resulted in some interesting conversations with folks. And there were at least a few communities where people are like, wait, you're a chick? Yeah. What of it? Kitty is kitty is kitty. Eric gives gender is a complicated issue that is different for everyone. Yeah. And I'm not even the right, like, okay, bad language. I would say that I'm not even the right person to be, you know, speaking about this on a public platform. The kinds of struggle, you know, I have not experienced some of the same struggles with, you know, gender, etc., that others have with respect to identity. But I try my hardest in terms of just listening, trying to understand, and not putting people on trial, but just going, I want to understand people. Tiger, speaking to someone who has a lot of issues with gender, you think I'm doing a good job? Appreciate it. Dang it. Okay, Kitty B, no. I'm sorry. Drink of water time. Eric Cave saying, like, you know you fall somewhere between agender and masculine, but you don't put too much in that yourself. Stage. Decodifying gender would be a major simplifying factor. It's not binary. It's not something that is really easily classified, so it makes the words more difficult to accurately convey meaning. Yeah. No, the big thing is I wanna... Did we get a barbecue?
You did it! Small child saved Mafia Town!
We got a barbecue!
Now Mafia no longer need to eat lava for breakfast. Amazing! Please, take this as trophy. You are truly the hero of...
We... Okay. They're throwing us a feast. We got a barbecue. And, we got compensated for our time with an hourglass. Tiger's noting non-binary transgender woman, if you haven't said before. I think you've said it before. It feels really?
All right, I'm in. I made it. I infiltrated that kid's spaceship without the alarms going off.
And Eric is noting somewhere in the non-binary, though not sure where. I got you. Leaning towards masculine. I got you. Like, it's really hard to say stuff like this without winding up being in the same sort of camp as, like, the all lives matter sorts of folks. Fundamentally, at the end of the day, folks are human. That's what I care about. I care about the people. That's... It's just really distressing to me that that's not something that is something we can readily agree on as, you know, on the societal level, is just people. But then again, you know, at least in the US, there's sort of been historical issues with little things like, you know, you treating humans as, you know, people and not, you know, at different points, you know, slaves, livestock, lesser people. Gosh, that's one of the things that just gets to me, is the idea that there are people that genuinely believe that you could just look at two people you pull off the street, and one of them is somehow more of a person than the other. That just I can put together intellectually how that happens. I could sort of model it, study it, etc. But there is something in me that really can't understand that, it seems. And I'm glad for that on one hand, just to never have been in a place where that was my reality. I guess it's the kind of thing where if I could find the words to help I would speak until I'm blue in the face and until I drop and pass out. If even one word would help make a difference on some of that, on just the idea that people okay, so everyone has some value. Each is incomparable to another. One person's success in an area does not discount others' credits. And heck, even if we look at advances that we make today, that's standing on the shoulders of giants. There's so many people that we build on the work that each other puts forward. It's not a zero-sum game. People try to treat it like it is. I mean, God, the cult of capitalism. The long story short, my position on capitalism is that all pure economic models fail at large scale. Whether you're talking, communism, socialism, whether you're talking about capitalism, whatever economic model you're looking at, a pure model fails at large scale. In particular, economic models tend to fail when the effective power level between strata, especially the top strata and the lowest strata, become too great. Which is where you get some of the questions that are cropping up a lot lately about things like wealth inequality, etc., and how that is a driver and a symptom of a broken system. And no, Tigers, a lot of folks don't understand that non-zero-sum game idea, and it's heck. But when we look at some of these factors and stuff, it basically boils down to, look, a free market might work on a small scale. I say might because I haven't, my background is not in economics. I basically, you can say it, I have a passing interest in it. I have an interest in it because it's a part of how the world works. But and it's an extension of how we relate to each other. It's a particular sphere of that. But when you look at that, when there's too many orders of magnitude between power levels that are interfacing with each other, it's the idea of one of the things that strengthens the working environment as a whole for people is having things like strong unions. That's partly because at that point there's the order of magnitude and power differential between a collective bargaining unit like a union and the employer is not nearly so disparate as the difference between where the employer is and a given individual employee is in terms of effective bargaining power. By grouping together, you wind up being minimizing some of those order of magnitude differences so that you can interface effectively, so that negotiation can be approached in a more reasonable manner, or rather a more fair manner that actually means that it's not just someone who is this infinite cosmic being in power compared to the lowly worker in this hypothetical. It means that instead of the worker trying to sit there and say, you need to pay me more, and the company just going, that's nice. You start banding together with a bunch of other folks. Next thing you know, it's, no, we need some better benefits and we need higher pay. Like, we all need this. And being able to bargain on and negotiate as a bulk. It's still not a perfect answer, but it's part of a system of answers. Things like having oversight and regulation of industries because one of the big things is in pure capitalistic systems, you cannot assume that entities are going to operate humanely. Like, ignore the idea of, whether they're operating ethically. Humanely is the idea. Because when your system is based purely on, numbers and gaming the system, whatever the cost, the incentive systems that wind up being in play don't wind up being the bulk. So traffic jams, right? This is a bit of a change. Traffic jams. Stage just laughing for the other room. So how does a traffic jam form, right? A bunch of folks start, optimizing for themselves, deciding that they're in a hurry to get somewhere. They maybe start tailgating folks, and whether or not there's actually collisions, you wind up with folks in this stop and start situation where there's a lot of speed changes because the person in front of you, if you're the one tailgating, the person in front of you doesn't want you to rear end them, because even though it would be your fault, they just don't want to have to deal with that. They have jobs to deal with. Not having a car for a while would be a major inconvenience in their life. Like that's just not a headache they need. And the guy behind you who's tailgating you is sitting there going, gosh, I just need to get home. Oh my God, I hate traffic. You have all these people in these little metal boxes that are seeking to get from point A to point B a few seconds faster. But you want to know what the really crazy thing is? If you allow a greater following distance between you and the person in front of you, in particular, ample stopping distance, accident rates plummet and travel times decrease. Traffic jams stop happening so much. It's the accumulation of things like I've done some math modeling work with this in some of my courses. You think of it this way. You have time associated with, oh God, you got to accelerate. You've got to, oh crap, you got to brake. Make sure you don't run into the person in front of you. And there's always this delta T, this time associated with that, your reaction time. And your attention, it wears away at your attention and your ability to pay attention to the things around you. Like, attention fatigue is a thing. The same way things like decision fatigue are. So, Erica, why you're thankful you go to work at weird hours so you don't deal with traffic. But this concept, right? We wind up so single-mindedly pursuing the individual goal that it blows up the global optimization. Now, there's a whole lot of things that you could do in theory. I'm using this as an example of how single-minded pursuit of the individual's gains can sometimes break systems when everyone in the system is doing that. But when you start doing things like, you start thinking of things like, maybe you start carpooling, right? You reduce the amount of traffic that's on the road by doing things like carpooling or taking buses, etc. Okay, cool. And you get these collective transportation sort of forms. And if people start actually driving safely, having more aggressive policies regarding things like driver's ed, etc. Potentially, just as a hypothetical example. This is not necessarily strictly policy answers to deal with this problem, but in terms of just fundamental ideas, you start making some of these systemic level sorts of things. Maybe have more stringent requirements for getting your license. Maybe having more significant penalties if you start rear-ending someone in traffic. But if you can somehow wind up with things like more consistent follow distances, less of the stop and start traffic, then people get from point A to point B faster. Another excellent example is that you can go, because basically traffic is a flow model. fluid models work pretty well for traffic. Or at least certain fundamental ideas from fluid models. But one of the other things that crops up is, so on a somewhat tangential note, you know how there's those shortcut roads that everyone takes sometimes? Or routes that are supposed to be faster but just wind up bogged down and everyone's in traffic and it's god-awful? Sometimes in traffic engineering, it turns out that if you remove a shortcut route, then it improves traffic flow in the larger area around it. It's a fascinating phenomenon, and gosh, I need to sit down and like go through some of this sometime, like for you guys, like set up a camera and walk through it, because it's freaking fascinating. Because it sounds so counterintuitive, but if you actually start modeling it, you know, sure, you wind up with an oversimplified model, but if you start using things like data and stuff to monitor traffic networks in a given region, you can start targeting things like that. Or things like the Pennsylvania Turnpike changed its speed limit. Or at least I think it was the Turnpike. Changed its overall speed limit at one point from 65 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour in most areas, because it was actually shown to be safer. But little tweaks like that, you know, the accident rate was lower in those stretches. I guess I'm getting a little bit unfocused and like wandering off on a bunch of tangents, but part of this boils down to, like, there's a lot of crazy interactions in how we relate with the world, and what happens when we start looking at bulk behaviors. But gosh, I wrote this down a couple weeks ago, and I still need to refresh myself on it, because there is an economic principle where the global, it basically, the best individual outcomes tend to be obtained when folks work not just for their own gain, but for a collective optimization. Which I guess your analogy on that would be something like, say, unions, etc., or just having synergistic goals. Nah, this is also part of why I need to never, ever speak about societal or political issues with my grandparents ever again, because it winds up being me jumping off on a bunch of tangents, because they are all intermingled or related or good analogies for one another, and they're, besides the fact that they don't discuss in good faith, it's also that's not relevant. Yeah. And I'm talking not even such crazy things as, you know, capitalistic and other economic models, you know, failing at large scale versus traffic. I'm talking about things that are more related, such as, you know, social policy regarding things like contraceptive access and healthcare access, and having that be related to things like sexual education. They're related. Basically, the most potent thing that you can arm yourself with is information. Like, realistically, and please no one make a gun joke. Like, in terms of actually affecting change in the world around you, positive, constructive change, it can come out of a conversation with someone. It can come out of something simple like me sitting here and discussing something on stream. It can come out of, you know, just a random conversation with a stranger where maybe you learn something and they learn something. Open sharing of ideas in good faith and pursuing... we started this language on this conversation on how language can affect your biases. Yeah! That's one of my problems, though. So you want to know one of the reasons why I ended up with math? So my degree ended up being a Bachelor of Science in Applied Math and Statistics. I joke that I'm an escaped chemie, but you want to know why math, in some ways? It's not just because it's fun to play with the problems of the world and stuff. One of the things that I've always been afraid of is diving too deep in a given field and losing sight of all the other cool shit in the world. because there's so many things that are fascinating to me, and I want to play with it all. I want to understand it all. So it's hard, though. I know that one person cannot understand everything, and it's an incredibly greedy thing to just say. You just want to know it all. You want to understand it all. No one person can. Sure, fine. That I accept that. But in terms of, I want to do my best to understand what's around me. The people, the constructs. I want to share that as well. Whether it's the discovery process itself, which suddenly ties in, yes, there's a lot of core aspects of that are self-therapeutic for me about streaming. But it also intersects with the same kinds of things that are some of why I love teaching. And that is this sharing side of it. And I'm also sitting here, and it's not just an outbound sharing, it's also I'm learning things. This is a conversation. For all that I can talk a blue streak, and dear God, if I have one superpower, it's my ability to just talk a blue streak. But there's so many awesome things in this world. Fascinating things. And one of the things that is heartbreaking to me in a lot of ways is how so many just stop pushing to learn, to understand around what's around them. And it doesn't, I'm not even just talking in like academia, because this is also right up, heck, it's not all book learning. It's experiential. It is taking a look. A lot of it is just critically looking at the world around you and constantly learning new things. If you're great with your hands, learning more crafts or learning how to better do your craft, to continually pursue greater understanding on that front. If your field is people and interfacing with people in things like say entertainment or acting or communications or things like that, expand your horizons on that. Don't get complacent. Stay hungry. Sometimes it just does need to be enough if you go and look at something and it turns out to be just because. The long story short is because. And sometimes the answers are completely arbitrary. And that's okay. But learning that something is arbitrary is still learning. You know? Ask questions. Make mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Do better. Just ties in a little bit with something that I was talking to my mom about today. She was so one of the people that my parents know through my brother's old scouting troop. One of the kids' parents passed away suddenly, and there was the funeral and trying to deal with all that. And she was talking to the mom about something that she learned from me, which was the okay enough. Now in that case, it was dealing with grief, or it applies to things like trauma as well, flare-ups of things, just the days when you're upset. Sometimes you don't have to be okay necessarily. You will be okay, but that doesn't have to be today. Okay enough. Okay enough to do some of what you need to do and to keep moving forward, even though things are falling apart. Okay enough. There's times where you're okay, there's times where you're okay enough, and there's times where you just You need to curl up and take the day to yourself. And it's okay to be not okay. But okay enough is a thing. The reason this comes up is because it ties into something that I was talking with her about. And some of it comes down to the idea of it comes down to self-love and self-acceptance. Accepting who you are today, fundamentally. There may be things that you wish to improve. There may be things that frustrate you about yourself. And yeah, they could be whole facets of yourself, whether they're things that are in your control or not. There's all these things. But accepting that today you are enough. Now, if you stay at the same point tomorrow, if you still are the same exact person tomorrow, the same save state, if you will, then we'll talk. Then we start having problems. But for today, for right now, in this instant, letting yourself be enough and accepting yourself as enough. With the understanding that tomorrow you work on something else. Or you continue working on the path that you've been incrementing along. You just... to accept oneself, but to also... It's not a dissonant pair of ideas to accept oneself and to also be pursuing a better version of yourself. Catching up a sec. Air caves. People should be allowed to make mistakes because no one is perfect, except you. Forgiveness is one of the most liberating things. If you cannot make it through the day, try to make it through the hour. If you can't make it through the hour, then try to make it through the next minute. If you keep making it through the next minute, you can make it through anything. As cheesy as it sounds, every day that you wake up, you've set a new personal best in your life for number of times you've woken up, number of days you've lived, number of days you've experienced. Set a new personal best every time you wake up. It's cheesy. And sometimes that, just because something's cheesy doesn't mean that it's not a good thing that's needed sometimes. Yeah, it's right up there with the idea of like, flowers and chocolate is so cheesy as like a Valentine's Day thing, but it can sometimes be really nice. Or just a heartfelt gift, you know? It's the same kind of idea. But, no. There's a reason why I've adopted the saying, as even kidney stones do. This too shall pass. You think of kidney stones as being this painful, awful, oh dear God. Like, the kidney stones are basically something that for most people who've experienced them is the worst pain that they've ever experienced in their life. Or for many, I should say. But, as even they do, it might pass painfully. You might bleed from it. It might be god-awful and be terrible and have all sorts of complications. But this too shall pass. After I broke up with the shitty ex and had a really awful couple of years, one of the things that I came to understand whenever I had one of the really bad, intense flare-ups, and those are the only times where things were at all risky for me, where I was basically the lowest risk for suicide in existence, except for those spells where everything just suddenly broke. The thing that I learned to do is I cultivated 2 responses. One was to let one of my friends know. And 2 was literally curling up in the fetal position at the foot of my bed. Because I understood that constantly having to redirect myself is incredibly hard. And just no. It's one of those things where literally it's easy to be creative destructive. It's easy to be creatively destructive. It's really the fundamental thing. But no. Curled up in the fetal position, sitting at the foot of my bed, and just stayed in one place. Because what I understood about that was that it was finite. It was an isolated spell, and it would pass. I just had to make it through the next breath, through the next minute. And string them together, one breath at a time. Even as it felt like everything was shattering to pieces internally, and just, it was like, yeah, rip my heart out and throw it, at a field full of broken glass, and then just jam it up inside, and just everything breaking to pieces. And this, you stare into the void within yourself, that chasm, that nothing, and it stares back. But one breath, 1 minute, becomes a few minutes, and eventually you surface. Stage, that's an interesting turn of phrase. Creatively destructive. But no, that's fundamentally what it is. Like, I was basically pitting my tenacity and stubbornness and self-understanding against the understanding that I have a lot of potential to be creatively destructive. It's the kind of thing where, sure, there's the easy things. You stop having alcohol around. Make sure there's no sharp objects around, etc. According to whatever you understand your impulses are. Making sure that you're in a safe environment. But I also understand that there's a contrary part of me that hates being trapped like that cannot stand having all of its options removed. So at that point, that would have driven just creative destruction. So instead, sure, taking some precautions. Making sure that it wasn't making sure the easy shit wasn't in play. But otherwise, riding it out. Literally staying in place. Stubbornness is not always a bad thing. Anyone who says I'm patient, my answer to that is that stubbornness can look a lot like patience sometimes. No, tenacity and stubbornness can sometimes get you through shit. No. I never want to be at the kind of lows that I was at during these times. Ever again. But if I were, I know that I could survive them. You're too stubborn to let the shitstorm of your life take you hostage. Yeah, knowing you, yeah. But no, it's... Things are finite. And that's the big thing. And I know that one of the things that I would say lucky on is that the order of magnitude of the most intense, there was a week that was really bad where I wasn't connecting with existence. It was like I was laying in my bed basically, and just it was like I was kind of underwater, or that there was this I say water because of the sort of sensory deprivation feel that goes with it, and being beneath the surface of the water and having the entire rest of the world trying to speak to me through that, and I basically just, that week was bad, but even then that was finite. I know there's a lot of folks who wind up with much more longer chronic patterns that, it's not the active flare-ups and stuff, because that's one of the things that makes some of what I deal with easier for me, is that it tends to be, sure, it comes in clusters and bursts, but it's shorter time, high intensity flare-ups. Between things like, trauma stuff, some of the anxiety sorts of things, all that stuff, that it tends to be finite. the kind of thing that you measure on an order of magnitude of minutes to hours as opposed to days to weeks. And even a rough patch is maybe, it's basically a higher frequency of these flare-up sort of moments that happen over the course of a couple weeks. But it's these temporally finite ones. It's one of the things that makes it a lot more tractable for me. Air Caves, you live today out of spite because damn it, you deserve better. You will be happy just to spite life. Hear, hear. I should be drinking water anyways, but hear, hear. Toast to that. And welcome on back, Draw. I've been on one heck of a ramble, I will say. I did not mean to get this derailed. I'm okay with this. I'm not sitting here... I'm trying to get better about things like, oh god, the reflexively apologizing for things. It's not to say that there aren't times where it's important to apologize, but that's one of the things that I'm actively working on. Or at least if I'm apologizing, being more specific about it. Not the sort of thing that's implicitly like, I'm sorry for my existence, but the oh crap, I'm sorry that I forgot to do that thing. Let me help with that. Being more specific about it. That includes things like, part of me is trying to reflexively say, I'm sorry for just all this tangent. I know you guys theoretically come here for gameplay. I'm getting better about some of the reflexive stuff like that. It's funny. That kind of ties full circle back around to some of the linguistic ideas we were at. The things that become ingrained in us and how we describe and interface with the world. And what our reflexive responses are, and things like that. That just... Aww. Eric, if today will be a short 2-hour stream, Max. Yeah, we're basically going to finish this dialogue, and if there's anything, and have to wrap up. Nah, this works. It gives my hands a rest. A lot of this comes down to... Okay, finish this section. Okay.
I bet she's collected a ton more timepieces than I have. Now where...
Oh, you better not, Mustache Kid. What? No, cat, stop! He just tried to rip the controller out of my hands. Ow. That actually put some stress on my hands. Okay, ow. There's a broken checkmark thing there. We're probably gonna try the one thing. Oh wait, hold up, the vault. Jackpot.
This must be where she stores them all. Time to mess with time a little.
Oh god. Okay. So that really wants us going up there. But that's what we have for today. Nah. But to finish bringing it full circle, it does basically come down to thinking about the way that we interface with the world. It's... Heck, the word mindfulness has so much like BS and like new agey stuff behind it to some extent. Look at the world real quick. My world's on fire. How about yours? Lava is hot, yeah. Rip. Just an FYI, lava is hot. Yep. But no, so I can ignore the plot. Okay. So, basically, mindfulness in the sense of consider how we interact with the world, and you also try to just understand better. Lava shouldn't be hot? I thought it was cold. That's only if we get the ice cape. But no, so now basically it's be mindful, look at the world critically, and learn. And not just externally, but to some extent try to understand better how you interface with your world. You know? And basically everything's a part of the circle of life. Everything is connected and all that jazz, right? Gotta lighten it up right at the end. I didn't mean for this to be a philosophy day, but it kind of happened. I have to say thank you guys for the conversation and some of the interaction on this. Today's a good day. My hands still hurt. And I do have a bump on the back of my head from when I hit my head against the windowsill yesterday, but you missed all the philosophy. You just got yourself in the mood to develop a hat. It was, we had some killer stuff going on. It was a good thing. And it even somehow came back full circle. Somehow. But, not basically. Just learn. Work on understanding better, and it's the kind of thing where listen more, think critically, and share openly. We swarms enjoy meeting other swarms. Oh my god. So let me take a quick look and see who all's online. I know we have Antechamber on Friday, and there's a few stories that I do plan on telling then. Things that, if you guys are around Friday, that you can remind me of. Longboarding stories. Foursquare. Or, sprained thumb. That's a story from when I was a kid. There's a couple of other, injury ones that are just relevant this week, and some of them Staged hasn't even heard yet. So I think that might be fun to debut those on stream. Also, my mom says hi to everyone. I ended up talking with her a bunch today. It was a very good conversation. Whole bunch of just good, open, sharing discussion, and I think it's part of why I was in sort of that pensive, verging on philosophical sort of leaning. That plus conversation with another friend earlier. So, let's see. We've got... Who are we? Got a couple people who are... I don't know who we're looking at. I don't think I'm seeing anyone immediately among my follows. Let's glance at a couple Discords to make sure that I'm not missing folks. I don't know if it's an IPC day. IPC is an awesome creative streamer. This chill, laid-back dude who makes these awesome critters with and combines 10 different media, while doing it. So he'll have colored pencil, different kinds of paint, pens and stuff involved. It's crazy. I do see that we have... Tell you what, I know I keep hosting them on Wednesdays, but they're a good place to go hang out. I think we're gonna end up hosting, Hi, Mama Bard! I have to remember to let her know that one. Oops, sorry. So, it's kind of funny because one of the things that frustrated her in high school at one point is, in middle and high school, is I had a bunch of friends who would refer to her as, basically, you know, Mama, my first name. So in this case, I guess, you know, Mama Kitty. And it's like, you can call me my name, or you can call me, like, Miss such and such, if you're not comfortable being on a first name basis. Nope. Yeah, Mama Kitty. It always cracked me up because it drove my mom up a wall. For what it's worth, I don't give you guys a better name reference to go off of, so Mama Bard is actually like a pretty, and portmanteaus are a thing and all that jazz, so it's actually a pretty good answer to it. I think we're gonna end up raiding, I think we're gonna go over and raid, we're gonna raid, Couchcapades. It's a pair of streamers, Rose and John, who are fantastic, and they are a hoot. And also occasionally John and Stage start flirting, and I don't know what's up with that. It's a little silly. Nah, it's a good time. They are fantastic folks, warm, silly, goofy, and I think we're gonna raid them. So let me set that up. So La Mulana randomizer race this weekend, depending on what day it is. Heck, it might have even been posted. Let me glance to see if it was posted yet. Nope, I think they're waiting. I think MQ's waiting on me to submit my response to the survey. Let's see if anyone else is. So that's gonna happen on either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when that is. We might have 2 witness streams next week, Monday, Tuesday. Both would be at the 3:30 p.m. EST time. I need to see. I refuse to stream for like 4 days in a row, but I think we can try for 3 in a row with this one. Because that would mean Monday, Tuesday Witness, Wednesday Hat and Time, and Friday Antechamber, assuming we don't finish it this week. I have no idea how close I am to done on that. So that's where we're at. I've had a blast tonight. And I just want to take a sec to say thank you, guys. You're freaking awesome, and heck, sounds cheesy and canned. Because it's something that is a sentiment that comes up a lot, but I well and truly mean it. You guys are awesome. And y'all really rock my world. And I gotta say thank you. Nah. Y'all are freaking awesome. Let's share the love. Do we want a raid message? Do we... I think that we are gonna go with, how do you guys feel about Roomba attack? That's our raid. That's our core raid message. Add whatever emotes you want to that. It is Roomba attack. Really, it's Roomba attack. But that's hard to convey. So did I spell attack wrong? I think I spelled attack wrong. Heck. Don't type in stream, folks. It's bad for you. Is that better? That looks better, I think. Yes. So, Roomba attack is our core raid message. Let's get that queuing up. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Have a great... Yeah, if I don't see you Friday, have a great rest of your weekend. And if I do see you Friday, well, longboard. Have a great night and take care.